Today, I want to talk about the truth of success. The reality is that you can get all the promotions, the titles, the raises, the bonuses, all the applause and praise from your boss. But if life outside of work sucks and is falling apart, it's never going to mean anything to have all that success inside of work. Not in the long run, or at least not for most of the people that I have talked to and that I have worked with. The truth is that we're all sold this dream. We're sold a dream at work, but we're also sold a dream about work. And that dream is that work is this gateway to making dreams a reality. There's this whole concept of we go to school, we get good grades, we advance through school, and then you get your job. You work your job, you do a great job, you work hard, you get ahead, you get the promotions, you grow, and then one day you retire and you just live off of all that hard work that you've done. And a lot of people are finding that while that may have been true in years past, there's certainly been times where that was the case, it's less and less the case now because cost of living is so high. Most people aren't going to be able to retire. Most people struggle to even make it with one job. A lot of people have to work two jobs. So there just seems to be this growing disillusionment with that whole dream. And so companies are still selling that, right? Companies still sell, come work for us. We'll advance you, loyalty, all this teamwork. But the reality is that we just don't often see that stuff. And so this dream that we're sold a lot of times is really just an illusion. And it's tricky because early in your career, there really is a time where this dream seems to be a reality. You do work hard, you do get promotions, the additional money feels good, you're rewarded for hard work. Because really in a lot of those lower level jobs, working hard is kind of what you do to get ahead. But as you progress, as you advance, hard work becomes less and less important. Then it's about networking and friendships and did you get a bad boss or a good boss? All these things that are somewhat out of your control start to have a major impact on your career success. Even down to things as big scale as just your general company's outlook on how they think about employees. Are profits more important? How are profits? How's the economy? There's just a lot of things that are quite frankly just out of our control when it comes to career advancement. And that ultimately leads to a point where you have a lot of people now who are in the middle of their careers and they're asking, what's the point? You have a lot of people further in their careers who aren't satisfied, which then leads younger people to look at those two groups and say, well, they've made it all the way over there. They're not happy. These people are on their way. They don't know why they're doing it. Why should I put in the effort? So it's just trickling throughout our society as a whole, this idea of success and is it even possible? You put all this stock in being successful in your career, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like, wow, I've had a lot of success. It's just, oh, I've climbed to a new level and now I got to just keep working. So, was it all worth it or not? And one major issue that I see that I personally try to avoid at all costs is that a lot of people put so much focus on work, they fail to put any focus on their family or their faith or their friends or their hobbies. And that is where real joy and success is. And if those things start to fall apart, it doesn't matter how well your career went. You're going to want those things at some point in life, even if right now you don't think you do. I think the reason that work success isn't enough is that while work can give you some meaning, you can have a meaningful job, you can make a meaningful impact at your job. Jobs don't give you purpose, right? You bring your purpose to the job. So, it's not often that you get a job and then you find your purpose within that job. Usually you have some idea of what your purpose is, and so you go seek out jobs that you think will fulfill that. Or for most people, you don't consider purpose at all. You just go get a job, hoping to find it somewhere along the way. And unfortunately, too much of your focus goes to your job, and you don't really feel like you're ever finding that purpose. Your purpose should be external to the job. So that's one reason why work success is only going to make you so happy, because I think most people are looking for meaning and purpose in life, and they're looking for it in work, where it's just, quite frankly, not going to be found. The second reason that work is not going to make you happy, even with success, is that work rewards output, not identity. Right? So you are who you are. You have all these qualities about you that are great. You've got all these things in life that you want to accomplish. You've got purpose, calling, all these things. But really at work, 90% of the jobs, they only reward your output. They don't care who you are. They don't care what your calling or your purpose is. Did you produce enough widgets this month, or did you not? That's the way it is. How many emails did you send? How long were you on Teams? How many Slack messages did you respond to? How quickly do you respond? You know, are you in meetings or are you not in meetings? It's all of these outputs, not personal things. I think in the past there may have been more relational things within companies, but I think that's largely died in this race to the top of profit mountain. The third reason work success isn't enough is that it's consumption. It doesn't produce much in us, right? So if you think about your time, work doesn't give you more time. It gives you money. Money can't buy you time, but it consumes time. It consumes time while you're at work. It consumes time when you're driving to and from work. It consumes time on the weekends if you're dwelling on work instead of enjoying life. You know, and now with remote work, with all the advancements in technology, now work could go on even after hours. Your phone's blowing up, your laptop's blowing up. It's consuming your time. It's consuming your life, right? Time is the most precious commodity. You're never getting it back. And once it's gone, it's gone. Fortunately, we can overcome it because we can shift our focus to the right thing. And then we're not so caught up on what work brings or what it doesn't bring. And there are things that fill that gap between work success and then what I would call real success, where, you know, yes, your career is going good, but life outside of work is great, which will make your career better because you'll be happier, because life outside of work is more important. The first thing that fills the gap is, I'm going to say faith, right? You may say purpose, meaning whatever it is, but it's that thing that's bigger than you, right? So for some of you, you know, it is faith, it is spiritual. Others, maybe, you know, you just have a purpose or a calling. You want to help people. You want to, you know, whatever it is, whatever it is, there's something bigger than you that is important to you. You just have to figure out what that thing is, right? What is it in your life that's bigger than you, that's important, that you should be focusing on? The second thing is relationships, your friends, your family, the people you're helping, the people you depend on, the people that depend on you. Those people help fill the gap, because as those things improve, so will your quality of life. You'll be happier. You'll be more satisfied. You'll know you're helping other people be happier and more satisfied. The third thing, and tied to the first, right, at least for most people, is purpose and what you can actually do with that. Some of you, it might be volunteering. Some of you, you can get a job. If you like helping people, maybe you're a nurse. Maybe you work at a homeless shelter. Maybe you volunteer in a homeless shelter. Maybe you do, you know, some of these camping things where you go out, you camp, homeless people can come, you give them different things. I don't know if they do that in your area. In my area, they do that. You can do things like that that fulfill purpose, right? You could do adoption, or you could work at a youth center, or whatever it is. What can you do to fulfill your purpose outside of work? And there should be tons of options. I think the reality, though, is that most of us are chasing things that we think are going to help, but they're really not. And there are signs that this is you. If you get that promotion, you get that raise, you're on cloud 9, and 1 to 2 weeks later, you're ready to quit again, there's a good sign that every promotion and raise is going to come with that same feeling, right? There's no guarantee of happiness just because you got a promotion or a raise. So if you're chasing those things, and when you get them, you notice an immediate drop back down into despair, you're probably chasing the wrong things. The second sign is maybe work is going great. Maybe you are having an amazing time at work, but life outside of work is falling apart. Maybe your relationships are crumbling. Maybe you haven't talked to your friends in a long time. There's resentment growing with your kids because you never go to sporting events because you're so busy with project A, B, or C. If those things are happening, that's another sign you're putting your focus in the wrong areas. Right? If life outside of work is falling apart and work is thriving, you might want to rebalance the way you're looking at things. Work will fade one day. You'll want all those other things in your life. And the third thing is that you dread free time. I know that may sound crazy, but it does happen. I've experienced it with travel. We traveled full time, and there were times where it felt miserable. And the real reason is not that I was necessarily dreading the travel, but it felt that way because even when I wasn't working, nothing really filled the void that I was trying to fill because I had so much of my focus on work, not enough on the important things. And so even when I was doing the things that were more important, it still felt empty because I was stuck thinking about work. So what do we do? Once we've noticed, okay, there's this gap, we're starting to see those signs in our own life, what can we do to improve our situation? The fortunate thing, there are things we can do. The first thing is to not feel ashamed or depressed. I think, at least in my own case, if you realize that hey, maybe I'm putting too much focus on work and not enough on family, you can feel a sense of shame. It can be somewhat depressing. But really, it's just you noticing a sign that it's time to change, right? And that can be a positive thing. You don't have to be negative. Yes, you could feel shame that you let that happen, but how happy should you be that you realized it and now it's time to change? So stay positive. The second thing is to ask deeper questions about life. Right? So I know it's always split when you mention faith. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's the reality for me. If my life is falling apart, a lot of times I just need to ask deeper questions about what I'm doing. Am I doing things the right way? Am I thinking about things the right way? Am I praying enough? Am I reading my Bible enough? Am I doing all those things? And a lot of times there's some correlation between that. If I'm doing things in life that are unhealthy, life becomes unhealthy. And I'm sure it's that way for everybody, right? Regardless of your faith beliefs or whatever. If you're doing things in life that drain life, your life will feel drained. And then the third thing is to start filling your life up with things that work can't give you. Right? So whether that's taking a walk, right? Go out in nature, take a walk with your kids, your dogs, your whatever you got going on. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors. Spend more time focused on your family. If normally you log off at 5 and then your work pops up and you get back on for a little bit, quit doing that. Just focus on your family. Find hobbies that relax you and that are enjoyable. Do the things outside of work that work can't give you. And that will help make life better. Your job will give you a paycheck. And that is it. There's no guarantee that it's going to give you anything else in life. So go out, find the things you love. Find your purpose outside of work and let those things be the things that fuel you so that you can go to work, do a good job, succeed at work, but realize that's all it is. It's a means to an end. You're going to perform this function to the best of your abilities, collect that check, and then you're going to go love life outside of work. That's the way you stay positive and focused and find real success beyond just chasing career things that are ultimately going to leave you feeling empty and disillusioned. So I hope this video was encouraging, slightly different than normal, I think. Maybe not. But anyway, I hope you find it encouraging. If you do like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.